Hello, beautiful people. Hope everyone is doing fantastic. This is Ambbali Bhattacharyya from Ambbali Art Cafe. And as promised, I am here today with a complete tutorial of how to do eye with watercolor. This video is supported by Rockwell Art Canada and Bahung Canada and is organized by Ambbali Art Cafe. So here is the basic sketch of the eye. I did the sketch beforehand to save the time and have used zero point 0.5 mechanical pencil. The paper I am using here is Bahong Professional Grade 300 GSM paper. This is 100% cotton paper and I am going to use these brushes from Silver Velvet number 8 and 4 and this yellow rigger brush. I got this brush from a local stationery shop, and I don't know the brand name, but this one does the job really well. And this is my Rockwell Art Canada colors that I'm going to use: 312, the fire orange; 310, the rose red, and this is the EM series for you know Rockwell Art Canada. This is the self-evolving colors, and I love them. I'm going to use like the entire series for this, for the skin tones. And while going to use that, I'm going to tell you what all I am going to use. I have taken this color out in my palette a little bit, and yeah, I'm all set to start the tutorial. The Rockwell pigments are really very nice, vibrant, and have nice granules. And since I'm their international brand ambassador, you can use my code Ambbali AMBBALI 01 and use it for discount, and you can buy it directly from their website. Now let's start the painting. I will start the eyeball. I'll start with the eyeball, and since the eyeball has very transparent gray color, I'm going to use very well diluted Payne's gray. Here, that's the patch I have already done to show you the intensity of the color, how transparent it is, how well diluted it is in the water. I have to maintain the transparency and the luminosity of this pigment here for the eyeball because I want the eyeball to look very transparent and lifelike. First, I'm going to add Payne's gray to the edges and smudge it inwards towards the iris, leaving a very prominent, sharp white area, on the left, upper left, and a very soft white area in the middle bottom of the eyeball. Now I have taken a little intense dark Payne's gray. That means the water is less and more pigment on my brush. And I have done the edges of the eyeball. I have defined the eyeball with a little dark line. And then quickly, I'm just smudging the line, the dark pigment inside the eyeball towards the iris. Here I am, my strokes are all according to the shape. And again, I'm doing a reapplication of that. And with more intense Payne's gray, I'm doing the iris here. It is really dark. You can see it is setting a nice contrast against the light eyeball. The iris is very black, but I am using only Payne's gray, no black pigment I use in my painting. And again, I am here with the tip of my brush, the number 8 brush I'm using here. With the tip of my brush, I am just smudging the pigment inside the eyeball, and my strokes is according to the shape as I have already mentioned. On the upper left, my line is very harsh. The white part, you can see, it's very prominent. But on the contrary, in the middle bottom, the white area I have left, it's very soft. The transition here in the middle bottom, light to dark transition, you see there is no hard line. It's very soft, very subtle. But the line I have done, the white area that I have done there on the upper left, that has a very prominent, position there. And now with the tip of the brush, I'm just doing some lines inside the eye. They are going from the edges towards the iris, and they are little curved according to the shape. Why I'm saying every time according to the shape, because if you don't do it according to the shape, your painting will look very flat and cartoonish. So if you need to imagine that you are working on a ball, and your lines are according to the shape of that ball. They're curved. So yeah, I'm almost done here with the eyeball. I might come back to it later. Right now, I don't want to overdo it. So I have shifted to the sclera of the eye, and I've already used very diluted Payne's gray, and now I'm doing a little bit of fire orange, just a drop of it. Don't want to overdo it right now. We need to remember the sclera of the eye is never pure white. Never leave it completely white. It has a lot of reflections. It has the shadow of the upper lid, the reflection of the skin, the reflection of the light outside. So it is never pure white. And the more you add reflection and the shadow on the sclera of the eye, the more it creates depth to the eye. So always remember, this part of the eye is never pure white. And with the Payne's gray, I'm just defining the upper lid, the bottom area of the upper lid, and just the corner of the eye. And I think I'm done here with the sclera, and let's move to the skin part. I want a very smooth, skin tone here. No wrinkles. Not really like it's like a young person's eye. So not many wrinkles are there. So I have used here fire orange from Rockwell, very diluted version as the base for the skin, and I'm doing the upper lids right now with little bit of burnt sienna mixed with the fire orange, and doing the base of the eyebrow and the upper lid, making it little darker. This is the second application. I'm going to do few application on the skin part, and I will be working on layers here. Don't use too much color at one go. It might make the painting muddy, and it might not work for you. Always remember that doing a realistic skin tone is always the combination of adding cool colors and warm colors. I think I have already have a detailed video on it on my YouTube, so we will not discuss about it here. Here I'll just tell you that what are the colors I am using here. So I have, for the corner of the eyes, I have used little bit of rose red to add a little bit of cool effect for the shadow on the corner of the nose. And now I'm doing inside the eye. I have used little bit um, fire orange for the corners and for the water lines. And again, I have gone back to the sclera. I'm working on layers on the sclera, because it is going to create a lot of depth to the eyes. When the eye will be finished, the completed, you will understand what I'm saying right now. But you need to understand that we need to work it on layers. So first layer was done, and it is completely dried, and I have added the second layer again with little bit of purple and little bit of paint clay inside the sclera of the eye. That is like the shadow of the upper lid. Now I'm doing the upper lid with little bit burnt sienna mixed with fire orange. The color is more intense here, I can see, and added print of Payne's gray with the same mixture, and doing a dark intense line on the upper edge of the upper lid. And you can see how beautifully it is creating a depth. It is making the eye look so realistic. Adding the same color on the waterline. Waterline is extremely important. It gives the eye a very realistic look. It makes the eye look like a real eye. It is also the place from where you will be painting the eyelashes coming out. So never skip the water line. As a beginner, we always, I have seen, like, with my students also, that as a beginner, we tend to forget, um, to draw the water line, and we paint the eyelashes directly coming from the eyelid. That looks very, very cartoonish. So always make sure that you do the water line carefully. Now coming back to the skin part again, I'm adding more cool colors on the inner corner of the eye. I have added a little bit of purple. Um, I have mixed it with with the blue and the rose red and the blue. I have mixed it here and created a very subtle purple. And I'm doing the base for the um, eyebrow here and just adding little more intense color on the upper lid with the same color that I have done before. Little more intense and just doing a reapplication to add a little bit depth on the eyelid. So you can see that I'm working on layers as I said, and that is very important. It will help you to also understand that how your work is going, and it will also prevent from making your uh, painting goes muddy. I have done the base of the eyebrow already. Now I am doing with a very light brown. I'm just using the very fine rigger brush for the hair. And I have already used brown for the base. And once that is dried completely, I am using the body of the brush, and doing these hair strokes, very random, not very defined, and just using the somewhere the tip of the brush, somewhere the body of the brush, and just doing the hair very randomly. Make sure the eyebrow goes lighter when it touches the inner corner of the eye socket, and also it is much lighter on the outer corner also. The density of the hair is much more in the middle. So we need to remember these few little things, and it will really help us doing the eyebrows in a way that will make it look very, very realistic. So I'm doing the eyelashes here. It is the most tricky part, and people really sometimes struggle to do it. They look like sometimes as lines coming straight from the eyelid, and they look little weird and awkward. Always remember, this is, you can say, this is a secret tip I'm saying, that always remember your eyelashes are always coming out from the from the eyelid waterline, not directly from the eyelid. Your upper waterline and your lower waterline, always make sure that, don't never make it that it is directly coming out from the eyelid. Secondly, your eyelashes are not individually sticking out from the waterline. They are all overlapped as it is growing towards the outside, and their roots are, separated. So make it in that way. This will really help. And the lashes are always little curved, not a straight line. So if you keep these things in your mind, painting eyelashes will be a little easier for you. So I'm just redoing a little bit the brows, just added little more hair with my same brush, and I'm pretty much happy the way it is going. I like the eyelashes, the shape, and I have done the lower lashes as well. You can see that they're all coming out from the water line, and it makes a huge difference. Try it, and then you will understand this what I am saying. Now, again, coming back to the body of the eye, that is the sclera of the eye, and I think that the sclera of the eye is looking um little more white. I don't want that much whiteness. I want the eye to have more depth, so I'm adding a little bit of color. I'm risking it here a little bit, but that's okay. Either we fail or either we succeed, and if we fail, we'll learn from it. So let's see how it goes. So I have added ultramarine blue and Payne's gray a little bit just under the upper lid to add the shadow, because the eyelashes are pretty much dense, and they are creating a nice beautiful shadow to the sclera of the eye, and that is creating a nice depth on the eye, that's making the eye looking so deep. And then I'm using a little bit of red, that is the fire orange, and I'm definitely working on weight because I absolutely do not want any hard line here. It's very soft, very subtle. Just a drop of red on the corners, just to show that the reflections are falling on the sclera of the eye, and making sure that just the bottom of the eyeball is white. I'm not coloring it, so it will create an illusion of the light on the eye. And I have added dark burnt sienna mixed with Payne's gray. Burnt sienna mixed with Payne's gray made it dark, and I have used it on the inner corner of the eye and the on the waterline as well. Now with little bit of Payne's gray and brown mix, I'm doing the upper lid. Just doing little bit of touch up, you can say, here and there on the upper lid and on the inner corner of the eye, on the lower lid, just to just reapplying the same colors here and there, because you know that watercolor tends to have tends to lighten, like after it is dried, it tends to look little dull. So you should know that how much saturation you want in your painting. So I'm just reapplying the same thing, same colors here and there a little bit, so that it doesn't look faded once it is dried. Here I'm using titanium white just to highlight it few light areas, and especially on the eyeball and the corners of the eye. And I'm going to add little bit of white on the eyelashes as well. It will create a depth to the eyelashes. It will make the eyelashes look little separated from each other, and you will see that how it will add a little bit of realistic look. It's my hack of doing it, because all black sometimes make it look little unrealistic, little it lacks a little bit of depth. So you can see how adding a little bit of white can add so much of depth to the eye. And then I just smudged it because I do not want too prominent whites on the eyelashes. I just smudged it with a little bit of water. And I think yeah, I think we're almost done. And here I'm just doing some last touch ups, just adding a little bit of hairs on the eyebrows with a little bit of paint spray with the tip of the brush. And as I told you, that watercolor tends to look lighter once it is dried. So I'm just reapplying a little bit of paint spray on the eyeball to maintain the such saturation that how I want it. And yeah, I think we are done here. That's how the eye looks. Nice, have a kind of emotion into it. I like it. I don't want to overdo it anymore. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the process, and we will be coming up with like this more tutorial on our YouTube. So stay tuned with us, and wishing everyone a very happy Sunday. Thank you so much.